Yo, what's good? It's your boy Dot from Dot Me Now Coaching and Entertainment, and for coaching, my links are down below. I have various spiritual readings down below, which could help with topics inside this video. I have a Patreon down below. That shit gets saucy as hell. Um, I got an astral projection course down below. Discord down below. Go if you go inside the Discord. I'll be doing events like every 2 weeks. I might start doing them. So if you have any questions, things you want answered, pull up on your boy. We had an event last night. Shit was lit as hell. Talked about Atlantis, Lemuria, all kinds of stuff for real, for real. Instagram down below, man. Everything is down below. Go check your boy out. It is so much sauce. And inside this video, I got some sauce for ya. So, we are going to talk about your spiritual lineage, your spiritual heritage, spiritual ancestry, all that, right? And I'm going to cover what I actually mean by those terms. I'm going to cover why it's important. I'm going to talk about understanding the power of it. I'm gonna talk about how to even learn about your old heritage and stuff like that, along with how to fully connect with it and embody all the powers and gifts from it. You know what I'm saying? So we have a few topics for this video. Stay tuned for the whole entire thing and drop a like real quick because this will be saucy. And subscribe if you're new. I'm not playing no games. Alright, let's get to this video. So what do I mean by your spiritual lineage, your spiritual heritage, your spiritual ancestry, all that? I pretty much mean that your spiritual lineage, right, and your spiritual ancestry is the spiritual family which you come from. So all of us, right, do have the same origin, which is source. But as you break down further and further from source, you start having different like ancestries and different lineages and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Whether they be galactic and cosmic, whether they be all the earth and stuff like that, whether they be a mix of both, because it oftentimes is a mix of both because Earth is very affected by ETs, whether people believe that shit or not. So with that being said, it's really important to actually understand where your soul comes from, right? Because your soul, right, comes from your 7D eternal spirit. Like your soul is the observer. Your soul is the observer, which is observing this life right here. But that observer is linked to your 7D eternal spirit, which is eternal. It has various amounts of lifetimes, which could have various different origins. And when you actually craft out this lifetime, you tend to put certain aspects of your eternal spirit inside of this life, which have a certain lineage and have a certain heritage to them. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's really important to understand where this observer came from because this observer, this soul holds certain information which you could tap into and comes from your ancestors, from past lives, all that. So here's why it's super important. When you know where you came from, you know more about your soul. You know what I'm saying? You understand your personality more because your personality is influenced by many things, right? It's influenced by your genetics, it's influenced by your parents and what they tell you. It's influenced by different spirits, aka intelligent energies, such as the spirit of anger, fear, lust, peace, happiness, joy. These are all different spirits, right? Um, and it's also influenced by your past lives. It's influenced by your environment. So many things, right? But your common personality, right, is going to be coming from mainly your soul and your genetics. But your genetics, oftentimes you pick this body because the genes resonate with the experience of your soul and your eternal spirit. So I'm saying this because when you actually tap into it, you start to understand your natural personality. And your personality is the way you like to express yourself, right? So with me, right, I noticed that I kind of have like this like I give a lot of knowledge, or I love to give out knowledge, but I can't just like always just like give out random knowledge to a random person unless they kind of ask me. I noticed that inside people's lives, I tend to be more of an overseer who will only give certain information if somebody asks me. You know what I'm saying? So I've realized over time that that comes from various different past lives and my own spiritual ancestry. You see what I'm saying? So with different roles that I had, I'm kind of just living it out here. I see why I like to have a YouTube because I've been a teacher in so many different lifetimes. You know what I'm saying? On some ET stuff back in Taurus I was teaching. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all know me from Taurus. You know what? A lot of people know me from either Sirius as an Anunnaki, and I was even then I was like a little priest king and stuff like that, or you know me from Arcturus when I was an Arcturian priest king that came from the 6D and was teaching inside the 5D and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, with my spiritual heritage and ancestry, I know where I come from. So I understand why I act how I act now. I'm very into time travel and stuff like that because I was time traveling way back in the past. You see what I'm saying? So it simply just understanding your personality, the way you express yourself. You'll understand that if you tap into your spiritual ancestry. You'll also understand your inherent gifts and abilities, right? And let me say this too, real quick, right? So I'm not gonna promote my shit a whole fucking bunch, but I do want to say this. Some people may have trouble tapping into their spiritual ancestry. I'm gonna mention how to do it inside this video, but if you want extra help, I do have Akashic Soul readings and Galactic Akashic readings, right? When I do these, I dive into your Akashic. I'll see different past lives. I'll see like your different spirit team and stuff like that. I'll also tell you about the gifts and abilities, how you even would act inside these lifetimes, along with how to integrate it inside this life as well. You know what I'm saying? So one importance of your spiritual lineage is also your gifts and abilities, right? Because some people are more gifted in certain things than others, right? Inside the services, I'll teach you guys about your gifts and abilities. You know what I'm saying? But you can find it out for yourself. So enough of the promotion and stuff like that, right? Let me just explain the fact that, like I said, if you understand where you come from, you also understand your different gifts and abilities. Like I said with me, time travel is a really big thing. You know what I'm saying? Having a lot of access to the Akashic, you know, that's why I actually have this ring on. You know what I'm saying? Wow, I'm not trying to flip y'all off, but you know what I'm saying? I got this, you know what I'm saying, the flower of life, you know what I'm saying? That actually is really good with tapping into the Akashic and stuff there because the flower of life holds a template of creation, you know? So, well, all that being said, right? Yeah, your gifts and abilities are going to come from your spiritual ancestry and lineage, right? Also, the different spiritual practices which you practice, right? Because some people may be drawn more to like meditating and stuff like that. Others might be drawn to doing like energy work and stuff like that. Others might be drawn to motherfucking just doing acts of service. Some people are more like devotional inside their practice. This is going to depend on where you come from. You know what I'm saying? And not the thing is, it's like people would think that one way is better than the other and stuff like that. It depends on who you are. That's why there's various different systems for spirituality anyway for different kinds of people because different people responded certain things better than other people. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's also helpful for understanding your karmas and your difficulties because if you understand where you come from, you also understand the problems that those people tend to face. You understand the problems that your ancestors faced. You understand the problems that that species of being that you were experiencing, whether it was ET or just the certain, even if it was just like a certain kind of human, right? You understand, like for example, if you have like African ancestry, right? We obviously know that slavery and feeling in bondage might be a big thing that you deal with. You know what I'm saying? That might be part of your karmas, right? That you got to clear out. You know what I'm saying? Karma is just your past thoughts, emotions, actions. You know what I'm saying? Because the word karma literally means action. You know what I'm saying? But action could be a mental action, emotional action, physical action. These all build up karma. So if inside your ancestry you had been through some shit, you're gonna have to work through that inside this life also. You also understand the natural environment that you like to be in and stuff like that because when you know where you come from, if like for example, if you come from like Sirius B on a water planet, right? You probably like to be around water and it's good to be around water. However, you could have came from a freaking fire planet and because of that, you got to be around fire more or stuff like that. You see what I'm trying to say? So you understand your natural environment also, right? If you have African genes, you're probably gonna like the sun more than like a Caucasian person. You see what I'm saying? You also understand like your natural rituals, like your natural, because this deals with the spiritual practices, but also just your natural routines and way of life. You know what I'm saying? Like different spiritual cultures live various different ways. When you understand your own heritage and lineage, you understand literally how you like to live your life based upon your ancestry. You see what I'm trying to say? So let's really understand the power of your lineage, because the power of your lineage, right, is inside of your eternal spirit, inside the 7D, right? And it can be channeled by your soul. Like I said, your soul's the observer, right? Now, most people don't live their life as the observer. They live their life as the character, right? They're just observing their character and letting their character just run the freak wild. However, if you were to observe your own awareness, right? If you were to observe the observer, right? Now it's like instead of looking out here, you're looking in here. And as you look in here, you could look up there. I'm saying up, but it's not it's all around, you know what I'm saying? But you could look within and then up and all around towards your eternal spirit, and you could channel the power from that, which holds all your heritage, it holds all your ancestry, it holds all your past lives, all that, right? The power of your lineage is also inside your DNA and inside your blood. Like people don't realize, well, some people do, but your blood is very important. Your blood is so important, right? That literally in different African tribes, for a fact, right? They used to actually look at your blood as a spiritual component of yourself, right? Even when it came to like your feet and your hands, like you had spiritual feet and spiritual hands, bro. Like they saw various parts of the body as heavily important. You know what I'm saying? I know that Africans are really big on blood. Recently, blood elves also have been popping up for my boy and a little bit for me too. I say a little bit only because they popped up a while ago, but now I'm actually taking certain abilities from them, you know what I'm saying? And really understanding the power inside my blood more, you know what I'm saying? Because when you connect back to your lineage, right, you actually channel more of your eternal spirit, you activate your DNA, and you also awaken the power inside your blood. Like, when you meditate, like you can actually meditate on your blood and feel its flow and feel its power. And the thing is, right, when you're more connected with your ancestry, you have more life force from them flowing inside your blood because your blood literally carries life force to your whole entire body. So the more you're connected, it's like your blood kind of gets more stronger and enhanced. I said more stronger. Your blood kind of gets stronger and more enhanced, and it's like it'll carry more of a certain kind of life force to different parts of your body. You know what I'm saying? Because understand that everything that's physical comes from everything that's spiritual. There are 12 planes of existence. I broke this shit down several times over in several different ways on my Patreon, right? The physical plane is the last plane to manifest, meaning that everything from the physical also exists inside higher planes too. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be like, oh, how the fuck you got a phone inside the astral? Nigga, the phone inside the astral came first before it came down here on Earth. You know, you do understand that, right? Because even above the astral is the mental plane, right? Which is like a plane of like ideas, right? To make a phone, right? To even have this shit right here, right? There had to be a fucking idea of what a phone even is. And then after that idea inside the mental plane, an image for the phone was crafted inside the astral plane. And at some point, a person actually made it inside the physical plane. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to say this because even your blood, right? Your blood is made on spiritual levels, right? Especially like since the etheric plane is the plane that's like right next to this plane, the two, because this is the 1D. I mean, I made a video about how the physical plane is not the 3D. You know what I'm saying? When people say that, they just mean that we live inside of a three-dimensional space, which has length, width, and height. But the physical plane is not the first density or the first realm. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is the first density in the first realm. It's not the third density or the third realm. So pretty much what I'm trying to say is, right, the physical plane is the 1D, right? It's the first density, right? When like I said before, when they say that we live inside the 3D, they just mean a three-dimensional space that has length, width, and height, right? So long story short, the physical plane is the 1D. Above that's the 2D, the etheric plane, right? That could also be called the emotional plane, and it's also like the when people say like your energy body, they typically mean your etheric body and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where like your chakras are. That's where your chakras are and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's where your life force and your chi flows and stuff like that. You know. And the thing is, right, when you actually tap into your spiritual ancestry, right, it's like you actually build the chi of your ancestors. It's like your chi gets enhanced from your spiritual family and stuff like that. And then that chi goes into making your blood, and then your blood pumps it more throughout your body and stuff like that. So your blood really is a spiritual component of you. Because peep this, right? If you have spiritual blood, right? Like if your blood is more enhanced, right? Different parts of your body also become more enhanced. Therefore, you have more access to certain abilities. You know what I'm saying? Like if you just have your regular blood pumping to your third eye, right? It's not as powerful as your fucking ancestral blood pumping to your fucking third eye. It's way different. Like literally, the chemicals in your blood will actually change as you tap into your spiritual lineage. You know what I'm saying? You'll have different hormones, different chemicals. Your blood will be completely different, and the way that it pumps through your body is gonna literally be different. You know what I'm saying? Also, with the power of your lineage, you'll also gain more support from your ancestors, along with different guiding spirits and entities that align with that heritage. So here's what I'm trying to say, right? At various different points of your ancestors' journey and stuff like that, right? They could have worked with different intelligent energies, and they could have worked with different conscious entities. You know what I'm saying? If you tap into your ancestry, it's gonna be way easier to actually gain the favor of these beings opposed to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna do like a very simple example, right? A simple example would be like deities, right? See, deities, right, are just different. Most deities are just different symbolic images that are used to represent different cosmic forces and parts of yourself, right? Now, as people made deities, different entities would attach themselves to the deity, right? And usually when I speak about that, I'm putting it inside of a more like negative sense. You know what I'm saying? Granted, though, it doesn't always have to actually be negative. You know, here's what I mean, right? If you were an Egyptian, right, you could have worshipped a Set, aka Isis, right? Now, in its highest form, right, all that would have done was simply just awakened your soul's wisdom and really made you have a more spiritual awareness. That's what a set represents. However, people who could not fully connect with their soul's wisdom sometimes would end up contacting actual entities who want to embody the traits of Isis or a set. Now, most of the time, they would be some evil ass motherfuckers. But sometimes it actually was helpful entities that would guide you to tap into your soul's wisdom. And I'm saying all this because let's say that you were let's say that you're a Caucasian, right? However, your ancestors enslaved some Igbo people. Now, I don't want nobody to feel bad. Don't feel bad. No, you know what I'm saying. Technically, I'm way beyond that shit, bro. We don't really. I'm not saying I don't care about that shit, but I don't care in the sense of like I'm not gonna fucking demonize you for what your ancestors did. But the thing is, not everybody's as forgiving as me, and I'm saying this because if a certain Caucasian, right, wanted to work with Igbo deities, right? That shit might get them fucked up. Now, granted, it still is possible. You know what I'm saying? It is very possible to work with Igbo deities as a Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? However, it's going to be way harder because there's going to be certain entities that align with those deities. Because, like I said, the deities are just different cosmic forces, right? But entities like to embody the different deities. You know what I'm saying? So you'll fucking pray to an Igbo deity and some of that entity that wants to fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm trying to say? So it's like different deities, right? This is a simple example because there's actual entities that different lineages and heritages consciously worked with. You know what I'm saying? But my whole entire point is the fact that if you actually tap into your ancestry, right, your spiritual heritage, right, you're going to literally have more support from certain beings. And if you tap into the wrong shit, right, you might get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you're a Caucasian and your ancestors enslaved some Igbo people, I would not recommend fucking with no Igbo deities with no Igbo nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna probably conjure some shit that's not gonna like you. And my air chest rang too. So that's facts. Be careful, my nigga. But yeah, but that's if you a Caucasian, fuck with your, if you like an Irish person, fuck with that Celtic Irish. Celtic is Irish shit, right? I'm not too well versed with the Caucasian spiritual practices, but I think that Celtic is that Irish shit, right? So fuck with that Celtic shit, you know what I'm saying? And that shit gonna be perfect for you, you know what I'm saying? Facts. So how do you actually So how do you actually begin to learn about your spiritual lineage, right? Number one, you could book a reading with your boy. But number two, if you can't book the reading, which I completely understand, one of the first things to do is simply just pay attention to what you're drawn to. And by the way, I'm gonna talk about how to connect more with it also, right? This is just learning about it. This is not connecting with it, you know what I'm saying? Connecting with it is a whole different thing. So, number one, pay attention to what you're drawn to and why you're drawn to that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you feel drawn to something for no real reason, there's probably something there. Like, some people might be drawn to Egypt, but that's only because they heard all about the power of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, granted, they could have Egyptian ties, but some people only like Egypt for the power of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? But other people, like when I was a kid, right, I always had these visions of Egypt and never knew what the fuck I was seeing. I didn't even really know about Egypt until like I was late. Like honestly, bro, I was really late when it came to understanding what the fuck Egypt even was, bro. I swear to God. Like nigga, like I'm talking about like high school type shit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But as a kid, I always saw like I would have visions of pharaohs doing shit with like dark matter and stuff like that. It would be crazy shit. And I never knew what the fuck it was until like I actually tapped into my own shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example of feeling drawn to something and not knowing why. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention. Pay attention to different people on the earth that you're drawn to. When I say people, I mean like different ancient people, but even like shit, even like your friend group, and even like just different cultures that exist nowadays, right? See what people you're drawn to. Also, see what galactic races you're drawn to. Even see what mystical beings you're drawn to, like different fae beings and stuff like that. Like, see the shit that you're drawn to, right? Notice also different spiritual systems that you're drawn to. Like if you're drawn to motherfucking Taoism, that might be because you got some fucking Andromedan and or Syrian ancestry, because Taoism has a lot of Andromedan and Syrian influence. You know what I'm trying to say? Especially on that Andromedan shit, but there's also heavy Syrian shit there too. You know what I'm saying? So my whole entire point is, right, you could be drawn to different systems because it links with your spiritual heritage, right? Whether it's galactic, whether it's some mystical being, whether it's an earth race, whatever, right? See what kind of people you're drawn to. You know what I'm saying? Also, see what abilities you're naturally drawn to and think about where that might come from. Like for example, right? You might fucking love ice because you was a fucking ice elf or a ice giant. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But you may be drawn to healing because you were a healer back in a past life, or your ancestors were healers, or back on Sirius you was a healer. You know what I'm saying? See what abilities you're drawn to and also where that might come from. Like if you love fire, it's almost guaranteed that somewhere inside your lineage, bro, fire was a big thing. You could have been on some fucking you could have been a fucking nympho assassin. Like you could have been a spiritual assassin who practiced fire nympho techniques. By the way, I talked about nympho inside of my spiritual assassin class on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? Just to throw that out there. You know what I'm saying? But it could also be because you were on a fire planet before. You know what I'm saying? You could have been a fire dragon. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like just see what gifts and abilities you're drawn to and where that might come from, right? Now here is how to actually connect more. You know what I'm saying? When I do readings, I always mention how to connect with every single side. So like if it's a galactic reading, right? I'll say for your Palladian side, do this. For the Andromedan side, do this. I get very specific, right? But you can literally do that shit for yourself. You could deadass just meditate, right? Get to a meditative state, which I have a video about meditation on my channel. You know what I'm saying? So that's not even none you got it. You know what I'm saying? That shit is there. I got you, bro. But you could just simply just meditate and then ask. You know what I'm saying? Like I was with my friend yesterday, right? This motherfucker, this nigga is so funny, bro, because this motherfucker always say, I don't know how you get into it with your spirit guys, bro. I don't know how you be talking to them, da, 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 da. This month, bro, I literally showed him how easy it was, right? Nigga, he wasn't even meditating, bro. He was just in my shit. We talking this, aka my temple. I got a shit that's also a temple, you know what I'm saying? But we just talking inside there, right? And he had heard like some shit that made him upset inside his head. And I'm like, pretty much, I was talking about ETs coming on Earth. This is gonna be so funny, bro. I was talking about ETs coming on Earth and how inside the astral, I was being taught about how tall black ETs, like the tall blacks, want to actually land inside like Japan at some point. You know what I'm saying? Inside his head, he heard inside his head that oh, I'm not worthy of seeing the black ETs. And I was like, okay, just ask why then. He said why, and it pretty much just dealt with him doing shit from his lower self and stuff like that, right? And I said, okay, if that's how you feel, how do you redeem yourself? I'm like, ask that. He did that. He saw an image of Lily meditating a certain kind of way, asking certain, you know what I'm saying? Like he literally got shown what to do to become worthy of seeing the quote unquote black ETs. Now, that's just like some funny ass story, but my whole entire point is the fact that you could literally just ask yourself questions and get freaking answers, bro. Like meditate and start to ask questions. Meditate and be like, yo, where do I come from? What people do I come from? You know what I'm saying? How can I connect with y'all better, right? You could also astral project and set the intent to learn about your ancestry. You know what I'm saying? And this may not like y'all may think that's hard. It's not as hard as you think, bro. Like I have a course, right? Down below for astral projection, right? Somebody who's taking my course, right? They were like, yo, I want to learn more about my about my past lives, who I am. I want more spiritual understanding, all that shit, right? He set that intent, right? He's been having dreams where he's been like doing certain training and stuff like that, right? Now the thing is, he didn't even realize that his dreams were past life memories, you know what I'm saying? But shit like this happens. And even for me, bro, back in the past, I would have several dreams that came from past lives and I had no idea what the fuck it was, bro. Like literally. Until I actually became aware of this past life shit. I'm like, oh, that's what the fuck that was. You know what I'm saying? So there's people so there's people right now who are having dreams who showed them who they are. They don't even fucking peep that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could simply just set the intent at nighttime, and you might start having certain kinds of dreams that show you more of the that show you more about who you are. You know what I'm saying? So once you learn about where you come from and kind of like who you are and what your different like ancestry holds, begin to meditate on that constantly and also talk to different beings that align with you constantly, right? So for example, if you get told that, oh, I have this Mayan ancestry, right? Okay, talk to your Mayan ancestors way more often. Call upon them way more often. If you have Orion ancestry, talk to your Orion ancestors way more often. Talk to your Pleiadian if you're Pleiadian, talk to them way more often. If you're Arcturian, talk to them way more often. If you're Syrian, talk to them way more often. You see what I'm trying to say? Meditate and connect with these beings way more often. Also ask about their different gifts and their different abilities, right? Be like, okay, word, like I know I got this Mayan ancestry. What gifts and abilities what gifts and abilities does that give me? You'll get a response, you know what I'm saying? Also ask, okay, what are different practices that y'all did? You know what I'm saying? Oh, they told you they taught like you may get taught about this fucking, let's say on some Mayan shit, you get taught a fucking certain kind of meditation that gets done while also fucking listening to a fucking flute getting it played, right? Okay, nigga, find that fucking flute sound, do that fucking meditation, and nigga tap the fuck in. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes all you have to do is ask. But like I said, I do have services for the people who don't always trust themselves. But I've noticed that I have a lot of clients who will already inherently know certain shit and they don't even peep that they already fucking knew that shit, bro. Now, granted, I do help them to understand it more than they might. I do help people to understand it more than they would have on their own sometimes. But it's like after that, you start to peep that, damn, nigga, I could do this shit my fucking self. So yeah, nigga, ask about the gifts and abilities and also how they built them, and then start to actually practice what they practice. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, especially because your spirit is eternal and you have various different lifetimes, you're gonna have various different ancestries, right? You're gonna have very different lineages, right? So just be aware of the different kinds, and when tapping into a certain one, always ask those beings about it. So sometimes maybe it's like your Arcturian phase, then you're on your Egyptian phase, then you're inside your Igbo phase, then you're inside your Pleiadian phase. Every time a new phase pops up, tap into that ancestry. Talk to those beings. You know what I'm saying? Ask them about who they are. Ask them about their history. You know what I'm saying? Ask them what problems they struggle with and how to overcome them. For example, I got a homie, right? And she would sometimes struggle with communication because she has heavy Syrian ancestry. Now with Syrian beings, right? Because not every single Syrian is gonna have communication issues, but some of them might, because as Syrians, right, they communicate a lot based upon like feeling and vibration, right? So if you communicate off of only feeling and vibration, right, it could be hard to do that on Earth because you got to actually turn that shit into words. Now, an Arcturian, right, may be a bit better because Arcturians are a bit more intellectual, right? They could do the whole emotional frequency shit too, but for them, it's more like they're imparting ideas intellectually onto you. You know what I'm trying to say? So because of that, because they have like more of a functioning intellect, they can actually communicate better on Earth. You know what I'm trying to say? So ask you could also ask like what problems different heritages struggle with. You know what I'm trying to say? You can literally ask these questions, you know? So yeah, ask what karmas come with this. Like be like, okay, what struggles am I gonna have? Also ask like different also ask about different environments you like to be inside of. You know what I'm saying? Different rituals, you know what I'm saying? Ask all these questions and then actually practice what they tell you to practice. This will make you more connected to your spiritual ancestry and your spiritual lineage. You see what I'm saying, bro? So with all that being said, that's pretty much it for this video. I love you all. I'm gonna catch you in my next one. Peace out.